Hi, and welcome back to your Moments with Zakia. Just like I promised, here's another letter. Dear Zakia, I am 25 years old and nothing tragic has ever happened to me. I have never been lost or I have never lost anyone. No one in my family has died spontaneously or close to me has died in a weird way. But I have this weird abnormal fear of dying. Every time I go somewhere or do something, I think about dying. I travel a lot and I'm terrified that I'm going to be kidnapped or injured. I am starting to not want to do things. How do I help myself get through this if I don't know where it came from? Help me, please. Sincerely, Unknown Fears. Dear Unknown Fears, I totally get this one because for a long time I was afraid of gas stations. I did not want to go inside of them. If I couldn't use my debit card or credit card at the gas pump, I didn't want to go in. And I still, to this day, have no idea why I was so terrified of the gas station. Nothing embarrassing happened, anything like that. But I totally understand. So what I had to do was basically talk myself through that situation. I, at one time, had a very serious fear of dying as well because my mother died at 47 and she died of sudden cardiac arrest. So I have actual reasons why I was so fearful of those things. But I'm going to tell you what I did to get over those things. First, I acknowledged when the feeling came over. I talked about how it made me feel. Hey, I'm starting to feel overwhelmed. This doesn't feel good. Okay. And then I had to talk myself down and say, okay, what is the likelihood of you dying right here? You're more likely to die in a car, driving to work. I had to give myself all those statistics. No, it did not work immediately. I had to constantly remind myself, and implant positive thoughts in my head when I had those negative thoughts about these places. I had to really just reach out and, ask, other people, like, how do you get over stuff like that? And that's what you're doing, and I'm hoping I'm able to do this with you. I had to realize that I was picking up other people's energy and fears. Like, why would I be so afraid of dying and I'm 23 years old and I'm not doing anything? And it was hindering my whole life. I was not going out. I was getting depressed. So I had to stop and ask myself, okay, what do you want to do? What would happen if you actually lived? And so I had to start learning how to live, start learning how to talk about my feelings, talk about those fears with people, and, actually just being honest about those feelings and fears with people and having people call you out on it, like, hey, that's not realistic. And my thing is, death is mandatory. We're all going to experience it. And if you're so busy focusing on when it's going to happen, you're never going to enjoy life. And I know, again, that's easier said than to get into your head, but you have to say that to yourself every time that happens. And eventually, yeah, it will start to come less and less until it's not an issue. I totally get those because stuff happens, or you hear something about somebody else. Even though none of those things have ever happened to you, you hear stories, you watch TV. Our social media is filled with all of those things. And, make yourself aware of your surroundings. Make yourself aware of your feelings. But I don't think they're weird or abnormal. I think a lot more people have those fears just because of how the world is and how things have happened. And we always fear things that we don't know. As someone who's died twice, I can't tell you anything about death because we don't have anybody who's come back and be like, oh, death is great. I'm just coming back here just to let you all know how good it is. Don't worry about doing it. No one has done that. And like I said, I've died twice and I don't have any memory of it. So I can't tell you if it's great or bad or whatever. So yeah, thanks for your question. I hope I kind of helped you. If not, you can write me back and tell me that I didn't help you, and I'll do some research for you. But next time we get together, I have another letter, and it is actually a question that's pertaining to me and Sullivan. So I think you'll want to check that one out. Have a good day.